What up, y'all? How y'all doing? Good? Yeah. I get some energy, man.
We here for a reason, Cam.
Yeah, for sure, man. Welcome to Night School, Kirk Studios. Y'all know, if you don't know, this is our new lecture series. We started with Sprite. So thanks to this partnership with Sprite, we're going to do these lectures every month, and they will be completely free. But they first come, first serve, so obviously y'all was quick with it. So this is actually the largest night school class we've done so far. So we made this 20. We usually only do 10 people. But I felt, it's the anniversary month. Let's make it 20 people for this one. So thank you all for coming out. Thank you all for being on time. I was trying to wait to make sure everybody got here so we don't get interrupted halfway through, but I think we're just missing like 1 or 2 people. But we can kind of just start. We're here on IG Live too, so we got people tuning in on IG Live right now, so that's what's up. IG Live over here, Kirk Studios. So cool. So I first want to start this lecture. If you guys don't know, this lecture is going to be about marketing. But this lecture is not what most people would typically think I would teach about, which is photography. I didn't want to teach about that. I want to talk about what I feel is the reason why I even got to be where I'm at today. And it actually has very little to do with photography and more to do with my ultimate passion, which is marketing. So hopefully today I can give y'all some insight, some marketing ideas, some tips, some strategies, some game plans to market whatever it is you guys have going on. So first I want to start this lecture by us introducing ourselves, and I want to kind of get a gauge in the room of what are you guys looking to get information to market. So we can start in the front, and I just want you to say your name, maybe where you're from, and then what do you do. So if you have a photography company, if you have a fashion brand, if you're a music artist, if you're whatever, just so we can kind of see who's all in the room. So we can start right here.
Sure. My name is Griffin. By day, I'm a corporate trainer, but I'm a serial entrepreneur, so I run a sneaker company. I have my own marketing, PR, and branding firm. And I have a skincare company releasing next month.
Sick. Okay.
So I have a ton of stuff going on, but I'm just a student of the craft. I just want to learn whatever it is. I'm just open to learning.
Love that.
From Chicago.
Chicago. Okay, bet.
Savante, born and raised in Atlanta. I do photography and I got my own photography company, so just willing to learn anything I learn, to help prosper so we in a better position.
I bet.
I'm YS. I'm a fashion designer and I'm also a music producer. And I just got like a clothing line. I'm just trying to get like some information, that can help me.
I bet.
I'm 30. I'm a photographer. I just want to know how to expand like my photography business, get it out there more.
Sick.
Hey everybody, I'm Tori. I'm Boston made, Atlanta raised. I have a podcast coming out next month. I'm a photographer and just learning more about marketing.
Bet. Oh boy.
My name is Sean from Brooklyn. Here to pick Cam Brain. I have an entertainment company. Do producing, music. I'm just trying to, expand, get better at marketing.
Bet.
What's up, everyone? My name is MK. I'm the owner of Shot by MK LLC.
Sick.
I am an editor, photographer, videographer. I pretty much provide content for the community.
It's on you. Yep, it's on you.
Hi everybody, I'm Cece. I'm from Boston, but I'm raised in Atlanta. That's my sister Tori. I am a creative director for D Media, and I am an aspiring set designer, and I'm working at this school.
All right, bet.
What up? My name is Tony from Atlanta. I'm a photographer, videographer. I got a clothing brand also, and I'm trying to learn how to expand every aspect.
Bet.
Hello, my name is Sarah E. I'm from Mexico, and pretty much I have a clothing line also, and we also do customs, and we're just trying to learn how to expand with our company.
Sick.
What's up, y'all? I'm Bernice. I'm a photographer full time, so I'm just learning the marketing aspect of it all. More of a creator than a marketer. So.
Sick. Sorry, you got.
I'm Robert. I'm a photographer, videographer from Marietta, and I'm basically, just trying to learn how to expand my business, get it from, Georgia to other states, stuff like that.
Sick. My dad's name's Robert. That's dope.
Yo, what's up? I'm Jake. I'm a law student actually, so I'm finishing up law school this year. But I'm trying to get into entertainment law, and I'm also trying to kind of build my own company after law school. I don't want to be just a lawyer, so I want to build companies that help fix social problems. Like right now, I'm trying to work on a company for healthcare problems, and so that involves getting clients, and so that's just what I'm trying to do and use my degree to advance some of that stuff.
Sick.
Hey, what's up? I'm Crystal. I'm a photographer, model, and also a model coach, and I'm just trying to learn how to expand my business and get better at what I do.
All right, sick. What's up, boss?
I'm Patrick. Y'all can call me PJ. Photographer, videographer, clothing line, all of that, and graphic design.
I'm Desiree. I'm from Atlanta. I'm a photographer and I also have a modeling team.
That's it.
My name is Chris. We are the boys on Instagram. Just trying to build my brand and be seen by more people.
Man, I love the diversity in the room. That's dope. I'm happy it's not all photography or all one thing. I also love that you guys are multi-dimensional. A lot of you guys doing multiple things at once. That takes a lot of work, so I commend you guys for doing that for sure. I definitely didn't start that way. But I'll introduce myself officially. My name is Kirk. I'm originally from Prince George's County, Maryland. I moved to Atlanta 13 years ago, at 18 years old, to attend Morehouse College. I actually came here, if you guys don't know the story, I feel like I tell it every 5 minutes, but I came here to be a doctor, and I failed biology first semester, and I went to the dean's office and I changed my degree to marketing, and it was honestly the best decision I ever made. Marketing has completely shaped the way I think. It's completely shaped the way I approach photography or any part of my business. I always tell people I'm a marketer first. Photography is my medium. It's the way I actually do marketing. So people I shoot, they're like my marketing clients in a sense. So when my approach to photography is always thinking about like how to take their brand to the next level, or what image I see for them and how us working together can take their brand to another spot. So obviously this is a short class, so I can't give y'all all the 4 years I learned at college, but I put together a little bit of a plan that I want you guys to kind of follow along with, try to make it a little interactive, make it a little fun, and then I hope that it can lead you guys from my approach to how I start businesses, and then how my approach is to marketing that business or finding clients, customers, finding fans, and audience, things of that nature. So what I want you guys to do is, that's why we have these notebooks today, or if you want to use your laptop, that's fine. But I want you guys to, even if you already have a brand established, I want you guys to kind of answer these questions. We're going to go through like a checklist of my approach. And if you already have it, I want you guys to just kind of follow along. And then if you guys have any questions or anything I'm saying, feel free to raise your hand. We can stop, you can interrupt me. But as we're going along, I'm probably going to ask a few of you guys to kind of share what you guys are writing down and we come up with, so that we can kind of go through this process together. So first step is obviously you guys at some point in the game decided I want to start my own business. I want to be an entrepreneur. Entrepreneurship could be basically it's everything you guys said, but it can go down to being an artist, photographer. End of the day, whether it's creative or not, it's still a business. And that side of the business cannot be slept on. So we spend a lot of our time shooting and creating and designing, but that's only like 50%, if that. Some people would say it's like 20%. And the rest is how you're going to actually get what you spent your time creating or your craft in front of someone to pay your bills or to buy it. So the first step is obviously figuring out that you want to make that journey as an entrepreneur. But then the first question that you have to ask, whether you're a photographer, stylist, whatever, is what problem am I looking to solve with my company? That's the first question you should be able to ask yourself, and you should be able to answer. That's the foundation of your company. For instance, as a photographer, for me, the thing that got me into photography full-fledged was I felt in Atlanta we had a lack of media, and we had a lack of storytelling our own culture from black people. I would follow trap music, and you guys can do this yourselves. I started taking photos in 2012, a little bit in 2011, 12. This is one of the first photos I ever took. And at that time, you couldn't find a photo of Gucci Mane unless it was his album cover, a magazine shoot, or a concert maybe. But there weren't just photos like you see now of our artists just being regular, just being life, in the studio, on a couch, hanging out. But if you ever followed the trajectory of music in like the 60s and 70s, that was big for like the Beatles, the Rolling Stones. Like you would find pictures of them just walking across the street. They were documenters at that time. Even some of our great leaders, Martin Luther King had a personal photographer. Muhammad Ali had a personal photographer back then. And I felt in Atlanta, it was like a lost art. Like we weren't taking photos anymore. We weren't, preserving the history that we're making out here. So I saw a problem, and I felt that I can fill that void with photography. And I felt that, like this image, which is almost 8 years old, it's going on 10 soon, still has an impact when people see it. It's going to be the image that's going to last forever. And I felt like Atlanta needed more of that, especially with our music artists. If you go right now and you try to find, you search Gucci Mane, search T.I., search Jeezy, all these people that are the founders of trap, you will not find photos of them during those times when they were really at the peak of their careers. You'll find a lot of video work, but maybe not photos. And then in the photo work, it's amazing to me that to this day, I think last year, maybe it was 2018, we just had our first black photographer for Vogue, shoot the cover with Beyonce. We had our first black photographer shoot the cover of Rolling Stone recently, which was Dana, and she shot Travis Scott. Like, in this day and age, our culture, and we're not even shooting it. Someone else is telling our story. So these are all the problems I saw when I wanted to approach photography. So you have to keep that in mind as you look at the trajectory of my career and know what's the foundation of it. So the foundation of it is ownership in our culture, is storytelling correctly, and it's preserving history in Atlanta, specifically in my neighborhood. So that's my foundation. So I want you guys to just think about, as you guys have all told me, a company you're starting. I know some of you guys have multiple companies. Maybe for this exercise, y'all take one company that you guys are thinking, maybe the one you're most passionate about. And I want you guys to just answer these questions. So first question I want to see you guys answer is, within your business that you're starting, what problem are you looking to solve, and what problem does your business solve? And then if anybody's confident enough or bold enough, I would like one of you guys to kind of, if someone has it, maybe answer it. You want to go on the back? You go on the back.
I will for my modeling team, which I'm still trying to figure out. The biggest thing that I'm focused on is diversity, because there's still, I'm pretty sure we all know, there's a lot of things that's not represented, which is affecting like everything. So diversity for me would be the biggest.
Diversity in the sense of like deeper than race, I'm assuming you're saying.
Say it again?
Deeper than race? Like what levels of diversity?
Like race to certain, because for a lot of women, there's only certain types of women that are shown, but there's a million different types of women. So basically like more diversity in what we see every day versus just the skinny girl that looks a certain way, or the rapper that looks a certain way. Everyone has a different aspect.
So would you say a part of that is an attempt to also boost self-esteem?
Yes.
By people seeing more examples of themselves?
Yes, exactly.
Okay, cool. Anybody else want to go real quick?
With my creative direction in set design, I think I want to tell. I would not think. I want to tell the story of Black culture. I want to be like a culture curator. Expand out the box with imagery, storytelling also, like you said.
So what's the problem that you're solving? Why do people need that?
For like history and for everyone to have a voice. I want everyone to have a voice.
Okay. Okay, cool. Cool. So, step one, like I said, to me, is figuring out what problem you're going to solve. Everything on this earth that exists and that's successful is aimed to solve a problem. And if you go to the root of some of your favorite companies, some of your biggest companies, you'll find what that problem is that they're solving at the root of all of their marketing, all of their strategy, all of their campaign messaging, all of that. If you look at, let's take Gatorade, for instance. Gatorade's entire messaging is about their ability to improve performance, hydration, the way that they get athletes back going. And you'll see it in the way that they display all their commercials. They show Dwayne Wade tired, he goes to the sideline, drinks a Gatorade, he's Superman after that. Like, it's all within their marketing strategy. Nike does the same thing with their athlete stuff. Like, their whole thing is we're the best performance-based company. No matter what you see, you'll see it within that. Even within their tagline, just do it. It's a very charged up mantra of like sports and movement and all that. So all of that's kind of within the company's, DNA and a foundation. So that's step one. What problem are you guys trying to solve? Step two, to me, is understanding why it is that you are doing it. What is the reason outside of the problem? You know your problem. You know that this needs to change. But now for you as the entrepreneur, you as the owner, or you even in your company's mindset, why do you guys exist? And why is it necessary? Why is it that you are doing what you're doing? So a lot of that is going to be the problem, and then why that problem is kind of important to you to solve it. So for me, I'll use my company. Now I'll switch to my company as a studio. Kirk Studios started 3 years ago. The problem we saw was there wasn't an affordable studio space in Atlanta, to me, that was hands-on, that taught along with work as a space, but we also groomed a community where we don't just sit you in a room and close the door and say, you got an hour, we'll be back. We're here, we change your lights, we change your backdrops, we teach you. When I was a photographer coming up, I didn't shoot in no studio like that. All my studios were big psych walls, and they were so intimidating to me. It was like, I don't know what to do in here. Like, I didn't go to school for this. I don't know what to do. I get nervous. So we eliminate that problem here. But that was a problem we saw, and it was like a barrier to entry when it came to studio photography. So a lot of people were shooting outside, shooting in location because they weren't confident in the studio. We wanted to solve that problem. The reason why it was important to me, it goes back to my original mantra of why I kind of started photography, which is that we need more documenters. We need people that actually know what they're doing, and we need to further sustain photography as a movement in Atlanta. So we have more people documenting the history that we're doing, and more of us actually documenting and owning our own culture. So all of that kind of ties into each other. But that's the why. That's why we do this. That's why it's important for us to have these free workshops. That's why everything we do is on purpose. It's for a purpose. And the purpose is not capitalistic. The purpose is actually to move the creative needle forward and to move Atlanta forward. So that's the why for me in my studio. Does anybody know why they do, or why they want to do what they're doing in terms of their company?
I know for our clothing brand, we want to bring every culture together. So we may become one, and we're Hispanic, but we don't really care about race or who you are or how you live life. So we're trying to bring everyone together. That's what we call it, become one.
Sick. Who?
So for my why, it was like, even though I'm from Austin, my parents are from the Highlands. So bringing like more of a voice to the first generation kids, because when I went to college, I was got made fun of like, I don't know how to shoot dice, so I don't know how to play spades. So it's just like it brings another layer to what we already have, because as much as we love like Issa Rae and everything that she's doing, we want, and even Amanda Seales, like how she even breaks down the Caribbean culture as well. It's more of that, and it's more of an add-on to a voice, and not really just like a solo, like only for first generation kids, like just for like everybody.
Sick. Cool.
I'm trying to bridge the gap in the music business. You know,
Okay.
I got my associates in music business, so learning how the business goes. But people that's like, my age, our age, they get in situations where, I basically want to, be able to help, but don't get into sticky situations in the music business, be like, I just want to be able to consult, help out, because, our generation, they just quick to, go for the bag, but don't realize, read a couple lines,
Yeah.
that ain't free for you. So I'm trying to, help bridge that gap.
Gotcha. So the why is super important, because the reason why you do anything, the reason why people do things is actually a direct derivative to people's actions and people's ability to spend with your company. So you have to understand the why so that you are able to communicate that why in marketing terms to get a clientele or a client base to actually want to spend money with you. So it's this theory, and I'm taking it from this very intelligent man. You can watch this on YouTube. He breaks it down probably a lot better than I can, but I'm gonna give you the small gist of it. The why is basically the driving factor for spending and action. So in your brain, there are three parts of your brain. There is the part that they said is it's the what. They call it the what, how, and why breakdown, right? So on the outer layer of your brain is what? That intercepts language. That's how you're able to look at something and say, this is a bottle, this is a soda, this is green. It's that. It's the most logical part of your brain. And then the how is like, okay, this was made because they put these chemicals together and now it's a soda. That's just the how. Like, okay, that's how we got this. The why is the part that most people have the most difficult time explaining or understanding, but it's the one factor that actually controls like why you do things. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like that feeling of you can see something in the store and it can be the most beautiful thing. It can make the most sense, the right price point, but you just have a feeling that you just don't want to buy it. Like, you know what I mean? Just whatever. I just don't feel it. You know what I mean? Or you can see something that's the most idiotic price point. It's 3 times what you'll usually spend. It's not the right color that you really need, but it didn't connect it with you on a feeling level. You can't explain why you did it, but I bought it. You know, I don't know why. I just bought it. It had a feeling towards me. That is the part that you're trying to hit when you're marketing something. So you have to be able to know it on your end to be able to get your audience to feel that same thing. So the guy, he does this analogy and he shows it to you. And like I said, if you ever think about the times where you're just like, I don't know why, I just don't understand, I just don't feel it. That's the part of the brain that controls action. Because you can break it down, you can understand it, you can see the logic in it, but you're just like, I don't feel it. So he breaks down a theory and he says on this YouTube clip, he did like a TED talk about it. But basically he says all the great leaders in the world, whether you're just a leader like Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, all the way down to your best companies like Apple and Nike, all are successful because they lead their marketing with why. So basically he explains a simple marketing strategy, a comparison of marketing strategies. So he says you have a brand, let's take a t-shirt company brand, and they say, yo man, you should buy this t-shirt. This shit is the best quality, it's the best design, it's the best colors, it's priced at $9.99. You need this t-shirt, you should buy it. That's one approach, obviously not in those terms, but that's an approach that certain companies make a mistake, and they do. But then you have another company that says, we designed a product for those that are dream chasers, those that want to achieve the next level. And those that achieve the next level wear fabric that is made of the best quality, the best design. And that's why you buy the t-shirt. And then when you buy the t-shirt, you feel that, you relate to it. You're like, yo, that was talking to me. So if you look at Apple, most of their commercials are always about the innovative people that are cutting edge, people that are innovative. And that's how they lead you to buying the iPhone. It's not really, they rarely talk about the iPhone and its features or it can do X, Y, Z. They hook you in on a feeling first. They show you pictures of people with their dogs and kids, and it gives you this whole other vibe that makes you want to go buy that iPhone. And that's the difference. You take people like MLK, he was obviously someone that hit your heart first, and that was the one that influenced you to follow what he was saying. He wasn't the only one saying some of those same things, but you know, he starts with, I have a dream, and he brings you into a whole way of thinking. So the why is important because it's important that you guys understand that, because that's the main message that you're going to want to communicate throughout all of your marketing. Why? The purpose. Why are we doing this shit? So then once you kind of got your foundation, to me those are foundation points, then you will look at your purpose, what you're trying to solve, why it is you're doing it, and your next thing you need to do is identify who does this apply to. Who is your customer base? If you're thinking my customer base is everyone, unfortunately, that is the wrong approach. You are completely thrown off. Your approach could never be everyone. The biggest companies in the world don't approach everyone. I'll keep using these as examples. Nike doesn't give a damn about regular people wearing their shoes in any of their marketing. You will never see a Nike commercial with just an average Joe walking down the street. They market to athletes. Their whole thing is athletes, sports, athletes. Now, they appreciate us that go and buy their shoes too, but their focus is very driven, it's very one-dimensional in a certain sense. They focus on athletes and the energy and the courage and the influence that athletes brings. They know they get a mass audience. But you would never see a Nike commercial with people just walking down the street being normal. Like, it's not going to be built like that. So the first thing you got to do is to know who you're talking to. You got to be able to identify your customer. So first thing I want you guys to do, we're going to make this a little fun. I don't know if there's any real artists in the room, but I want to see you guys draw a picture of your customer. Draw a picture of, it could be stick figures, it could be whatever, but I want to see you draw who your ideal customer is. Who's the person that's going to look at your product the most, relate to it, who's going to want it, who do you want to want it and to wear it. But I want you to get specific on a few points. So I want you to draw them. So if it's a girl or a guy, or if it's both, draw a girl and a guy. If you say this fits both, but sometimes your brand can apply to one. And then I want you to draw, if you can, put a brand on them, like what do they wear? And then I want you to draw a location that you can find this person at. So if they're in college, draw a little college university behind them. If they are, if they're athletes, draw them playing sports or something. But I want you to try to, as detailed as you can get, draw your customer. And if you're on IG Live, do the same thing. Anybody finish? Finish writing? You must already have this.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see y'all drawings. You know? Let's see what y'all come up with. I used to want to be a drawer first, an artist first. I used to think I was good. I used to draw a bunch of wrestlers. I was big into wrestling.
Who's your favorite one?
My favorite wrestler? I used to like X-Pac. Is that his name? I think it's, yeah. He's in NWO. That's not his name?
I don't know about that.
Oh. I'm showing my age right now.
Yeah.
You want that one WO?
Did they?
You want that one WO?
Okay.
You want back and forth?
You said what?
And I said you want back when WO.
Oh, my back. Oh, yeah, my bad. I'm showing my age, but
It's okay.
So that means you like
X-Pac was
WCW,
sick.
all that, you know.
yeah. I was just telling somebody, I remember when The Rock was in the Nation of Domination. He was like in a Muslim group before. Yeah, way before he became like The Rock. Which was crazy. But nah, I do have a Hulk Hogan toy over there. He was not my favorite though. He was cool when he joined NWO. You finished? Anybody else finish? You want to share? You? Yeah.
The drawing or the idea?
Yeah, just do a little bit of both. Like, just explain your person. All right, cool.
So like I said earlier, I want to like be able to use what I'm studying to help communities and help further visions that either are mine or somebody else's. So first, when it comes to entertainment and wanting to work with creatives, is I want their vision to be heard. I think it's really important that you don't lose sight of your own creativity, and you make sure that your vision is what's the focal point of what you're doing as a creative. And so I think it's important to make that happen. And so that means that my customer then ends up being either the entertainer, but also who they cater to. So I need to know not just who my entertainer is, but who are they reaching out to, because I need to make sure that everything's working for them too, the shows are for them, and everything works. And then on the healthcare side, it's working with leaders in communities that are underrepresented in healthcare. So inner cities and rural areas, you got to work with those pharmacies, and you have to work with people who control the healthcare channels down there, because that's how you reach those communities, because frankly, healthcare is not a diverse field, and people that are at the top don't care about communities that are disproportionately affected. And so you have to reach out to those communities. And so I know that those community leaders are the people that I'm trying to target with my ideas.
So, to break it down a little more specific, where do you find those community leaders?
So for example, recently I started calling up legislators down in the state capitol. I started speaking up with the people that are reforming a lot of the healthcare stuff. And so my goal is next year to be actually working for one of the legislators while I'm in school, and to learn more about the legislation and how to reform that area of healthcare.
Okay, perfect. Anybody else want to share? Want to go?
So I didn't get to finish my picture, but
All
kind
right.
of a guy.
Okay.
So he's wearing Jordans.
All right.
College student. I guess for my skincare company, I guess my initial demographic is going to be 18 to 34. Men and women, college entry level workers. My second level will be like the mid-level executives, 35 to 42. So those are the people. So 18 to 34 have disposable income. They're willing to buy the skincare. They're willing to try the new products. Clean products are focused on wanting a cleaner product that they can use. And then the 35 to 42 are people who have been doing the same thing their whole lives and looking to do something different. And yeah, I think that's it. But for the most part, these are college-age people. These are people who are into fashion, street wear, all types of stuff like that. But they're comfortable in, again, these are the vegans.
Okay.
I would consider myself one of these people.
Okay.
Right, so fashionable, vegan, college age,
You're
into
woke.
a bunch of different things.
You woke on your health.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you actually give a fuck.
And love hip hop.
Love
right?
hip hop.
So, yeah.
Okay. That's good. Anybody else want to share before I move on? Y'all good?
Hey guys, so my target audience is business owners, people that own brands.
So I have a woman and a male. The woman owns a vape company and the male owns a skincare line. These are just like examples of clients I've had in the past. So they have two different audiences. You wouldn't find someone smoking vapes. Well, I guess they could intertwine. However, I would look for them in different places. Like for the girl that owns the vape company, I would find in the smoke shops, hipster areas. Like I was thinking Little 5 Points, places like that. And in skincare areas, spas, personal care places, Target, you know.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So the one thing that I heard was they're both business owners.
Yeah.
So your demographic, yes, you can go specific to a specific industry or specific business owner, but you find them at their places of business. So that's a commonality, you know what I mean? So I like that. That was a good example, and that was a good one. So as you guys can kind of, I don't know, for me, I can kind of see it. If you guys look around the room at who's at this workshop, you can kind of see who my target audience is, right? And a lot of you guys have similar style. You know, a lot of you guys came prepared with a mask on. It lets me know a lot about that you care about health. You guys are, and the fact that you guys are here today taking a workshop also lets me know that you guys care about advancing yourself and learning more and progressing. And a lot of you guys are creative. A lot of you guys are entrepreneurial spirited. You guys are doing, you know, multiple things at once. So this is, you can look around the room and see an example of a target audience being done in a sense correctly, or this is how it looks, right? We're not that wide in ranges in this room. We probably have a lot more in common than we have separate. You know what I mean? So knowing your target audience is super important because, again, your plan is to pinch off a little sector and to turn that, and because that same sector exists throughout the world. And that's how you can look at the approach in like music. I used to always use Travis Scott as an example. In 2015, I had the privilege of I lived with Travis Scott for 2 months, and I went on tour with him, and I got to really see how he took an audience that used to be this size of just ragers. He just spoke to one particular type of crowd, and you would see these same types of people in every city we went to. They were comfortable in the mosh pit, they were jumping up and down, they were breaking tables, they were into streetwear, they were all that. And he focused on them, he spoke directly to them, and then he found the thems in every city, in every state, and it grew. But he never shied away from his vision and his style. And I think that you can find a lot of examples like that throughout successful brands where they just really narrow in on who they want and they just find people that like it throughout the world. So the first thing you want to do is know your target audience because that's who you need to target. Now, you guys have the ultimate blessing and the ultimate gift and the ultimate just everything of starting a brand in 2020 in the age of information and technology at your fingertips. The one thing that gets me most frustrated about young creatives, young entrepreneurs, young people at certain times is this cellular device literally makes you a genius. You should never even have "I don't know" in your vocabulary. Think of anything right now, you can type it in your phone and get an answer in 2 seconds. Anything. Literally, Google, anything. So it's important that we use that power and that technology. One of the biggest things it also gave you as a business owner is you have the ability to directly target your customer base and to find your customer base at a click of a button. It's unheard of, but it's so easy, right? So the one thing I say as a business owner as well is there is nothing new under the sun. There's somebody that done did what you done did. They did it before you. They may not have did it the exact way you would have did it. They did it before you. There's somebody already selling to your audience. They may not be selling the exact same product to them, but they are selling to your audience. So for me, my audience was obviously at the beginning of my career was music artists. So I focused on attracting music artists by obviously working with other music artists. But then eventually when I made my transition to say, I don't want to be dependent on music artists anymore, I want to build my own empire, I built an empire based off of the following of the music artists that I shot. So the people who were fans of the work I did for Travis, I worked on transitioning them to be fans of just me in general and not just Travis. So I worked on identifying, letting them see who was the person behind those works. Because one thing I knew for me as a photographer, it's a lot harder to get in touch with Travis Scott than it is to me. So when you want to talk to someone or feel like you know someone in the camp, I was able to make myself more available that would allow me to actually gain their respect, gain their trust, and gain their loyalty to me because of the work I did with somebody that they admired. So I want to show you guys something very, very, very simple that I find it like, it's almost heartbreaking when I see it on Instagram, but it happens every day. So let's say, for instance, you guys today wanted to, let's just say you wanted to get verified on Instagram, right? Let's say you have this great vision, this great plan. You eventually want Instagram to be a client of yours. How many guys, you guys all got cell phone? Y'all got Instagram? All right. I want you guys to go to Instagram's page and somebody tell me how many followers Instagram has.
I checked it. It was like 350 something when I checked. Like,
Instagram has 350 million followers.
358 million.
All right. And the Instagram page, I guarantee you, and I haven't done this, but I guarantee I can probably go to the latest post on there and find people commenting like something about, you know, how do I get in touch with you? Who, like, verify me or something. I'm sure. So I'm sure it's in there. Someone reaching out to a robot company wanting to speak. Instead of simply going to LinkedIn and finding out who runs Instagram's social media page. It's on LinkedIn. You go to LinkedIn and find people that work at Instagram. Instagram account that has 350 million people is not, it's another person that runs it that probably has 1,000 followers on Instagram. Literally. And they probably run the Instagram account. A lot of people don't do this. I'll give you a direct example. The head of Instagram, anybody know the head of Instagram's name? Nobody knows it? It's perfect. So I know y'all don't follow him. All right. So let me tell you the head of Instagram. I follow him, but I can't use my phone right now. So I'm going to tell y'all the Instagram page to follow. His name is Adam Mosseri. His Instagram account is
Mosseri.
Mosseri, Mosseri. He is the head of Instagram. He is the CEO of Instagram. He controls Instagram. He is the guy. How many, because you on this page, somebody tell me how many followers he has.
443K.
443. Mind you, one, he's gaining followers drastically now due to COVID, because now he's being a lot more vocal about the changes that Instagram is making. So his followers have went up drastically. I checked this maybe 2 weeks ago. He was at 200-something thousand, 300,000. This man has less followers than Lil Uzi Vert and Cardi B and Ruby Rose and all these people. Like, this man runs Instagram. If you wanted to get in touch with Instagram, who would be more likely to see the post? Him or an Instagram page that has 350 million followers? Him, obviously. Another easy way, if you really wanted to get that man's attention and you really needed to get through him, somebody tell me how many people does he follow?
897.
He follows 897 people. You know this guy's active on Instagram. He runs Instagram. He's probably on it every day as much as we are. On his timeline, there are only 897 people that he sees. If you got the attention of one of the 897 people, enough for them to put you on their page, who do you think would now see it? he would see it. If you guys got his 897 people to interact with you, what do you think is going to pop up on his Explore page? The people that his people are fucking with. So many times I'll see people hitting up the company page versus taking the time to go a little deeper. I'll give you another example. I don't know, have any of you guys ever heard of Fadia Cater? She's used to be a huge influence and huge staple to Atlanta culture. She started a party called Broken Bougie. Her Instagram is, I believe, Fadia Cater, but somebody look it up for me. It's like Fadia. She is one of the head execs at Instagram. Found her page?
Yep.
How many followers she have?
39.1.
39,000. So now we getting even lower in the follower counts, and she still has a great influence. Fadia is who anybody that ever got their page hacked, they go to Fadia. When Tory Lanez was doing quarantine radio, if you paid attention to the people that he thanked, she was one of the names that he thanked. When you watch Versus, a few times Versus actually named her by name as somebody that helped them get the verses right. Check my file. You have to just pay. It's all on the internet for you guys. It's all there. And I'm just going at the bosses. These are the bosses, right? So they're at the top of the chain. Underneath them, they have people that report news to them, where we can go even smaller, and you hit that LinkedIn, you'll find people with hundreds of followers, 1,000 followers. You know what I mean? The audience is there. So for you guys drew your audience. I asked you, one, where do they shop at? Where do they go? Are they in school? Where do they dress? What do they wear? For you said they're into streetwear. They wear Jordans. They wear whatever. You can literally go to Jordan's account, the Air Jordan account. You can go to even Hypebeast or wherever you want to see them. And they're there. You don't even have to do magic to find them. They're there. Go to your favorite, go to the brand that you know your audience wears, or the artist that you know your audience listens to, or the places that they go. Go to their followers, that place or that artist's followers, and pick your customers. They're right there. If I want to attract Migos fans to like a picture I took of the Migos, because I just took a picture of Quavo, and I don't have as many pictures of followers as Quavo, but I know the 3, 4, or whatever, how many million people he got will eat this picture up because this picture ain't on his page. All I'm gonna do is spend maybe a week leading up to me making that post, because I'm calculating and I'm making it make sense. I'm gonna go to Quavo's followers and I'm gonna start interacting with his followers. Double tapping, liking, commenting, da-da-da. I might go into his comments. They might say something funny. I might be trolling under his comments. Just to blah, blah. But guess what's gonna happen? Those followers are gonna be like, who is this? Who is this guy? We are human beings. We all love attention to a certain degree, and we all love and we respect, support, and love. I don't give a fuck how lit you think you are. People love positive things. You go into one of these people's comments and just say, great photo. Great stuff you're doing. It's your birthday, happy birthday. To a stranger, you think they're not gonna see that and be like, oh, that was nice, thank you. Like, it's the same vibe. Your customers are literally on Instagram, but you have to first define them. You have to do that exercise. You gotta do it for real. So if some of y'all was bullshitting and go home, do it for real. Figure out where do they shop at. You know what I mean? Where do they go? If you are a photographer, put all of your clients you shot, all the ones that page are your best clients, and then identify what are the common points in them. And they all be at this event. When I go to the Travis concert, I see a lot of people I shot. I bet. Or maybe I need to be under Travis's photos and following following what's going on there. Also, if you're looking at a company and you say you're doing a skincare line, I just throw this one out because I guess it's the most hype one right now. Fenty dropped a skincare line. I don't know if you see them as a competitor or whatever you might look at, but the demand and the people that are talking about her brand are people that are obviously looking for skincare or looking for it. It's right there on her page. Go through her followers. Go through her. I just bought it. Go to the people that said they just bought it. Go to her tag photos. People are tagging her with the. You'll find literally your audience right there. It's fucking busy ass work. Don't get it twisted. It's tedious. But if you're serious about it, you'll make it a morning exercise. You'll spend an hour a day. I ain't saying you gotta follow them and throw your ratios off and all that. But if you can identify, man, my customer base, they be here or they be following it. Go through that every morning when you wake up and start interacting with those accounts. That's marketing. That's guerrilla marketing. It's internet guerrilla marketing. But you're just trying to get them to come back and see your page. So make that a 1 hour a day thing. Maybe make it something you do in the morning, something you do at night. If you got a picture in your photography you're about to post, I don't care if it's an indie artist or if it's a model that goes to Spelman or I don't care if you took a graduation photo. If you took a graduation photo of this girl, go to that girl's page before you post it and start liking up her friends' pictures. It's the same energy. They're gonna say, "Who's this?" "Oh, girl, that photographer that shot you. He liked me, so I saw the picture he posted, so I liked it." It's the same energy. It's right there. It's no more excuses when you have the phone. And then, like I said earlier, use all of your social media platforms. LinkedIn is a mother. That one is crazy. If you're trying to actually get to the money and deal with brands, they're there. Look at who follows them, and then look at who your favorite person, look at who your favorite artist, if that's what you're modeling your company, look at who they follow as well. That used to be something I would do. I was a huge fan, and I still am. I'm biggest Jonathan Mannion fan. I don't know if y'all know him as a photographer. He's a GOAT. He shot every Jay-Z album cover, Lil Wayne album cover, Eminem album covers, fucking GOAT. Still doing it, still killing it. When I first made that decision, I'm gonna be a photographer, one of the first things I did was I went to Jonathan Mannion's people he was following. And I said, if that person, I don't give a fuck who they are, is important enough for him to follow them, I need to know them. I want to know them too. Because I guarantee you, for me, what I knew inside of that follow count, the people that he followed were people he was on set with, people that gave him a job, the person at Def Jam that probably hired him to shoot the Jay-Z cover. It's probably right in his followers. I just need to know them so that one day they can get to know me. And I just go through it. And I might just study who they are. I might look them up. Stalk. I don't have no pride when it comes to what you got to do to get these customers. It's out there. It's busy work. It's busy. You know what I mean? But it's tedious, but it's effective. It works. It's basically doing what Facebook and Instagram ads are doing, but you're doing it manually. You know what I mean? Because on Instagram, how many of you guys have ever done an Instagram ad? Okay, a few of you guys. So I'm sure if you've done it, and if you do it now with these parameters, meaning that when they ask you your target audience, you're not putting 18 to 64, United States or worldwide. You're like, man, I just want this to hit Atlanta. You're right, quick. And I wanted to hit the ones in this room. So I'm going to make that 18 to 30, you know what I mean? And I'm going to get right there with it. These radiuses. You're going to see results. Because that leads me to, I believe, is my next point. Am I losing anybody? Y'all got any questions? All right, I'm trying to run through all this. I don't want to keep y'all too long. So I talked about the internet, social media, Google, Instagram hack. Oh yeah, so y'all should be following that Moseri guy if y'all ain't already. I'm assuming y'all did that. Because he's lit. He's also lit. He's dope. And Fadia too. You should definitely follow him. So I went over that. Okay, so let's go directly into a more commonly used marketing tip, which I just hinted at it, but Instagram ads. Instagram ads. So you got Instagram ads, Google ads, YouTube ads, Facebook ads, Facebook and Instagram counted together, but you can do them separately, and Google ads. 5 direct ways that I spend money on to market the things that we do here. So the biggest thing about marketing, and I don't care if you're Nike, if you're McDonald's, if you are Starbucks or anything, Apple, every company spends money to market their products. If you're not spending money to market your product, you are already missing it. I don't care if you have $5, if you have $10, if you sacrifice going out one night, set aside a budget that you spend to market the stuff that you want to put out there. You have to spend the money. There's no getting around it. And it doesn't matter what it is you do. If you're a photographer or whatever, if you're just marketing a dope photo you just took, a selfie, I don't care. Put some money behind it. Put it in front of the people that you need to see it. I'll give you a quick example. How many of you guys know I did that billboard campaign where I was putting up billboards throughout Atlanta? Anybody, y'all familiar with that? So about, I think it was like maybe 3 years ago now, I had just did an exhibit called the Trap God exhibit, and my name was like buzzing crazy. So I was just like, man, I need to follow up. I want to do more exhibits like that. I want to do something larger than life. And I thought about the idea of taking my photographs and putting them on billboards. So instead of having an exhibit in a defined room and a wall like this, I was like, yo, I'm gonna put it on a billboard. Never before seen photo. The only way you can see it is go to these coordinates, look up in the sky, and see it. So I'll break you down the whole marketing campaign. So I'll break you down to the why I did it, what I did it for, and I'll guess the results I got. So at that point of my career, I was known as the photographer you call that documents Atlanta. You call this man at 12 at night, you invite him to the studio, he gonna come shoot your photos, blah, blah. I was not at that time the photographer you call for the budgets. You didn't call me for the album. I mean, like I was just I felt disposable at the time. I felt like artists just look at me as that. And then when it's time for the budgets, when it's time for the shoots, they was calling someone else. Someone else was flying in. You know what I mean? Even the magazine companies, they would use my work for Instagram, but then when it came time to, print the next issue of the magazine, there was crickets on my line. Like no one would call me to shoot it. I didn't feel like people respected my creative ability. So at that time, I had an issue. I wanted to advance further in my career. I wanted to prove to people that I can do these things. You can call me when it's time for that. And I felt as though they just wasn't respecting me. So I came up with an idea, and I said, yo, one of the things I know is people look at billboards like you made it. Those are like symbols of you made it, or fame, or something. There's not a single artist in this world that don't want to walk outside their house or their neighborhood and see themselves sitting on a billboard. Like I said, I was feeling like these artists weren't giving me my shine. But I knew that they would love to be on a billboard. So I did some research and I looked into what billboards cost. And quite frankly, this is something that people just don't do. People just don't do research. There's a phone number on the bottom of every billboard. Yet people always ask me, how did you get a billboard? It's like, it's a product. You can buy it. They want you to buy it. They're not hiding how you get a billboard. It's not a secret. People just didn't do that. I literally I called the company and I said, how do you get a billboard? Like, what's the process? They gave me the steps. And quite frankly, I shared the secret with, I guess, a few guys. It's not as expensive as you think. I think people realize that after I did it, because now you start seeing more people put up billboards. It was not that expensive. Sometimes hundreds of dollars, not thousands. And at that time, people were so internet heavy that people were straying away from tangible things. So no one was buying the billboards. They were letting them go for the low. And the thing about a billboard is if no one buys your billboard, it stays up longer without you having to pay. So if you bought it for 30 days and no one buys it, that's why sometimes you would drive past a neighborhood, that billboard is just always there. It ain't necessarily that they dropped the bag. They might have spent 1 month on it, and if till someone buys it, the company would just leave your billboard up there. Long story short, I realized, I was like, all right, they won't call me to shoot their stuff, but if I called them and said, I want to put you on a billboard, you down? They would say, what you talking about? Do I got to pay for it? No, you don't got to pay for it. I just need you to show up at 3 p.m. this location, where it is. I'm going to put you on a billboard. All right. It was like, all right, you know, first artist I did was Lil Yachty. He listened to me. You know what I mean? He was just like, all right, what you want me to wear? All right, bet. He pulled up. He wore this blue and white jean jacket set. It's one of my favorite shoots ever. One of the first times, even at that time in my career, I was ever awarded the opportunity to shoot an artist with my own creative direction, my own vision, my own release schedule and everything. All because I said I was going to put him on a billboard. And I did the shoot. I put him on a billboard. I'll never forget. I put him on a billboard. This was 2016. Yachty was just coming out. Yachty, who was Yachty signed to? QC. Knew the Migos forever. My brothers, love them guys. You know, I'm in the mall. I'm at Phipps Plaza. I run into Offset. Offset says to me straight up, "Damn, bruh, you know me since back in the video days. You know, I used to direct their music videos. I did like Freak No More and Ounces and stuff like that. How come you ain't put me on no billboard?" And it was just at that point I realized the marketing plan worked. The whole leverage switch. He wanted a billboard so much that he was going to let me do the shoot that I want. And I realized at that point that putting Yachty on that billboard hit my target audience, because it was for the fans, but it was really for the artists to know, like, Cam Kirk be putting people on billboards. You know what I mean? I need to go holler at Cam. Or Cam does big shoots. Call Cam when it's that billboard time. You know what I mean? Don't call him with this. And it literally was a storm. I did 7 to 8 other artists. And I always made sure I picked artists that I felt a genuine connection with. And I didn't like clout chase the bigger names. I knew the bigger names were going to come to me. So much so that all of the work you see now, all of the studio shoots, all that is a direct result of that marketing campaign. It cost me money, but it paid off in the long run, because a lot of people now know the work I've done post that more than anything. So, for instance, that Yachty shoot got picked up in Rolling Stone magazine. It got me, more than likely, the shoots and stuff I've done for them. It got me back connected, tougher with Migos. It got me connected with the Gunners, the Baby. They all of them knew that. And all of them were so, especially the QC era, they were so thankful for the shoot and the billboard, when, and quite honestly, it was something that they could have did. Like, they throw that type of money. But it was just that concept. And I'll never forget, even Yo Gotti came to the studio and I did a shoot with him. And it was out of nowhere. I was like, what the fuck? Like, Yo Gotti's calling my phone? Like, this is crazy. And when he got in here, he started talking about billboards. Like, yo, I want to put up a billboard in Memphis. And I was like, that's it. I'm the billboard guy now. Like, they call me for those things. So that's just a marketing example, I would say, of what I did as a photographer to stand out. It cost me a little bit of money, not as much as they thought, but the results proved itself. It takes money to make money. That's a guerrilla marketing strategy. That's a very advanced marketing strategy. There's simpler things you can do. It's, I'll give you another simple marketing strategy. It works all the time as well. Every company also has a budget, a marketing, and part of the marketing budget is called seeding. Anybody know what seeding means? Seeding means giving shit away for free. They give shit for free. to people they feel will best represent the brand and will convince 10 other people, 1,000 other people, 10,000 people to want to spend money with you. So I hate it every day when I hear entrepreneurs, creatives say, ain't no free shit. I don't do nothing for free. I think that is the craziest thing I've ever heard in my life, because everybody does stuff for free. My entire outfit I have on right now is free. This is Puma. They don't need me. I can afford it. They didn't need my, but it's free. They understand the value in giving stuff away for free. So one simple marketing tactic that in some cases costs you very little, if you're a service provider like a photographer, it costs you nothing. And if you're a skincare line or whatever you got going on, it's probably just cost you product to manufacture. It's not the full price thing. Is to pick ambassadors for your company and for your brand that you are willing to offer your services to for free in exchange for them highlighting your brand. If there's an artist that you want to shoot, if there's an influencer you want to shoot, there's a model you want to shoot, don't be afraid to look at either spending money with them to shoot with you as a negative thing. That might be what you need to do to get them to come on board. Remove the ego. You might need to shoot them for free. It might, but make it make sense. When you pull up to that shoot, have a BTS photographer, have a videographer with you, you capturing everything that comes from it. And then post it, and then maybe put some money behind the ad and make sure their audience sees it. Make sure you get something out of it, but never be afraid to do stuff for free or to even pay to get stuff done. That's a whole other thing. These companies also spend money on influencers. It's influencer marketing. They actually pay people to post this stuff and to wear this stuff too, besides just giving them free stuff. I always approach my business, whatever the guys at the top are doing, I need to be doing. I just do it on my scale. I might not pay someone $100,000 to be in my ad, but I might pay someone $100 to be in my ad. You know what I mean? It is what it is. So as you guys are developing your businesses, make sure within your marketing budget, I would suggest having a little budget in there for seeding, little stuff you give to people, little influencers, maybe once a month you do a shoot for free, you got a clothing line, identify people you can get stuff to for free. I'll never forget giving stuff away for free. Another example, I used to leverage that. Also you can leverage like other things you're good at as marketing tactics as well to help you get whatever you want. When I used to be around Metro Boomin and Young Thug and all of them, I ended up becoming a middleman for brands that wanted to get their clothes on these artists. They would send boxes of shit to me because they knew I could go run into Young Thug and give Young Thug a hat or give Young Thug a shirt. I'll never forget, Young Thug. This is probably around the time we did the video, The Language, Be Language, with Metro and Thug. I got a box of clothes from this company called Deadline. They gave me hats, all types of shit. And I also got some sneakers from Undefeated. It was an Undefeated Nike collab. They wanted Thug to wear it. I'll never forget, this man had so much money at that time. He could do whatever he wanted. I gave him a pair of $100 sneakers. I watched the man call his mom on the phone and say, "Mom, look, they gave me these." I watched him take everything out the box, throw it on, like as if it was just like Christmas. And it was all stuff that he could easily just go get. That feeling of getting something free, I don't care who you are, everybody loves some shit free. And that shit sticks with people. So when you guys are whatever craft you're working with, you're doing, ain't nothing wrong with every now and then blessing someone with something free just to, to strengthen that bond with them. That shit keeps them coming back also. Sometimes you got to do that. So keep that in mind too as you guys are building out your budgets or building out your plan for moving. Sometimes you might give a service for free. Sometimes you might spend money on IG and Instagram ads. It's a little too much for me to dive so specific into IG and Instagram ads, but I would just tell y'all, look it up. It's on Google. How to do it. Gary Vee talks about that shit a lot. Look it up. Research it. Once you know your target market and all that, it's easy to kind of do that. And then I would say that I want to end on this because I want to give you guys time to maybe talk amongst each other, because I also think you guys should be networking amongst each other. I hear clothing lines, I hear photographers, I hear entertainment lawyers. If y'all ain't thinking about getting each other's numbers, y'all bugging too. That's marketing. Your client is in the room. Your customer could be in the room. But the most important part of marketing is consistency. Don't do it once. Don't do it twice. Make it a part of the plan. Don't buy Instagram ads one time. Set you a budget aside and say, every time I post, I put $5 on it. I put $10 on it. Make it something that you can manage, something you can handle. Remain consistent. Consistent with your post schedules. Whatever you post on Instagram, post consistently. Whether it's daily, 2 times a day. I still don't really understand the Instagram algorithm, so I'm not going to sit up here like I'm a social media guru. But shit, we all need to learn it. We all need to just be Googling it and trying to figure it out. You know what I mean? But there is a system, and some people say different things, but you should be working every day to try to figure it out, whatever system works for you. You should be looking at the analytics on your Instagram. I think you can do it if you have a business account, but they literally will tell you, like, majority of your audience is 18 to 24. It's men, it's women, they're on Instagram at this time and this time and this time. Look at that stuff and take advantage of that and look at the insight. But just remain consistent whatever you do. And make sure that stuff we talked about at the beginning, your why, the why and the purpose of your business is consistently shown through everything you do. It's important. And I think that consistency is what's going to lead to turnover and sales and all types of stuff. I think I want to end there. Anybody have any questions? I feel like I just talked a lot.
Valuable. Exactly.
That was worth it.
All right.
You can say more if you want.
If you guys got questions, maybe I could get more specific. I don't know if y'all got questions on IG. If anybody's asking something specifically, I'll dive in. Anybody have anything? But if not, you guys can. We got some snacks here for y'all too. What is snacks from me?
So we got there's a black-owned bakery called Sweet Cheeks. SweetCheats. So they gave us cookies, brownies, cupcakes, little cake pops. So feel free to everybody.
Yeah. So you got a question?
Quick question. What do you think is the biggest lesson that you've learned throughout this whole time of you being Cam Kirk and having Cam Kirk Studios?
That's a very complex answer. I'll say that one of the biggest things I've learned is everything happens on, not to be too spiritual, on God's time and not your time. And one of the things I've learned is that ideas do not have expiration dates. I think that's one of the biggest things I've learned. So for me, at the beginning, I would get very amped up and excited and almost too excited. And I would be thinking everything is right now. She gotta happen right now. I just got this idea right now. And I realized later on that sometimes that idea might be strong and it's worth writing it down, but it's also worth just evaluating if it makes sense. So I would never, let me say this, I would never discourage anyone from thinking they can do multiple things at once. But I would also encourage you guys to also think about how much it really takes to get one thing off the ground, and then think, is it time for the second idea yet? You know what I mean? Because it's going to be very difficult to give 100% to multiple things at once. It's difficult for me now. You know what I mean? I wouldn't be able to run this studio if I didn't accomplish and cement myself as a photographer first. If I tried to wake up the same day and do both my studio and be shooting everybody, it really wouldn't work like that. So this is in no way meant to discourage anybody that's doing multiple things at once. It's just a simple challenge to say, look yourself in the mirror and say, can you do both? Or does it make sense to do this one thing first, because this one thing is an easier transition to the next thing. Once I got these people here, I could easily turn them here, like I did with the studio. Once I got people to love my photography work, it was easy for me. I want to say easier for me to convince them to shoot at my photography studio. You know, you trust my work, you see my work, come shoot here. So I would just say that. So for me, there are a lot of ideas that I'm rolling out, or will be rolling out in the future that I had 5 years ago. Like, and I thought at the time it was right. I don't know if any of you guys came to the Yesterday's Tomorrow conference. A few of you guys?
Some of the events.
Well, so Yesterday's Tomorrow was an idea I had in college.
I remember you
It's on the back of the shirt. It's a letter I wrote in college, you know? So it's just like, that idea didn't expire. It just was not the time. So sometimes also don't get discouraged by that. If something does not work right now, it doesn't mean that it's a bad idea or it's not going to work. It might just mean that the timing just ain't right. You know what I mean? So, yeah, no problem.
I wrote this down before you shared the billboard story, but could you share any other marketing strategies that you personally use that have nothing to do with the internet necessarily?
Yeah. This is a marketing strategy. Number one, you know, if I'm being honest, you know, I'm giving a little bit, but I'm hoping to receive a little bit, you know, on the back end and all transparency. You know, we do free workshops because we want you guys to better your craft and we want you guys to not forget about us. You know what I mean? This is a simple marketing strategy. The events we throw here, the parties, even, I don't know if anybody came to some of our parties, they be lit. But those are marketing strategies. You know what I mean? We want you guys to always remember this spot as a good time. So some of our marketing strategies are event-based. The exhibits I've done in the past, Trap Got exhibit, I didn't make any money off of that exhibit. It was purely a marketing play for me to get some back on it. Trying to think of anything else I would say that's like a purebred. Y'all can think of anything that we did, some marketing shit? Yesterday's Tomorrow conference was marketing.
I would say, I would say the photo walk.
Photo walks, we do a marketing. Hey, all the events we do are marketing-based events that come out of our marketing budget.
Listening sessions?
The studio sessions are marketing events. Like, so if anything, we probably do more off the internet marketing than we really do on the internet. But all of that, I guess, will qualify. I don't really have another one that's like the billboard. Like that one was like the one that I remember.
Yeah, that's cool.
But hope we're gonna have some. So, you know, we're gonna roll out some merch.
Ship the merch away to people. Y'all see them outside. It's like marketing.
We do that. Yep.
I say the membership cards too.
Membership cards are marketing. Yep. These TVs, you know, everything we do in here is marketing for sure. Anybody else got any questions?
So, how important is like mentorship for you? Like, did you have a mentor coming up?
I did not have a mentor coming up, but that's not something I brag about. It's something I wish I did. You know, I wish I had someone. Even to the day, at times, I wish I had someone that kind of went through certain steps that I did to skip. That's why I offer myself as a mentor to a lot of people, because I think that it's important. It just wasn't something that I had, but I would say it's important. So the internet was my mentor. YouTube and Google were my mentors. Peers were my mentors. Just having peers that may not have shit to do with photography stay up with me to 2 a.m, watch me edit and let me bounce ideas. Like, do y'all like this photo? Should it be black and white? Should it be this color? Like, those were, in a sense, my mentors, because they helped me. My dad is a mentor for me in ways. Scott Chilio is a mentor for me. He's an OG in Atlanta. He helped me a lot. But I didn't have like a go-to, just like teach me how to get from here to here. But again, like I said, it's on the internet. I do like to credit Marcus Lemonis as a mentor, although I've never met that guy. But he has a show called The Prophet. I don't know if you ever watched The Prophet, but I tell all these people, that's why they laugh. I always tell them about The Prophet. But The Prophet is one of the greatest shows I've ever seen on TV. It's like Shark Tank, so if you like Shark Tank and you like hearing company ideas, he's a serial entrepreneur, like you said. He's a serial investor. He goes around and he helps struggling businesses. So he'll go to a restaurant that has a great idea, like they were booming at one point, and then maybe they had bad management or their food costs are too high or whatever. He'll buy part of the company, keep the owners still on, and he will show you what he does to turn the company around. I think, although he's never done a photography company, but I think there was so much I learned from the show that helped me get to where I'm at. All right, cool. But yeah, y'all get a Sprite, you know what I mean? Make sure you guys, if you guys post anything about this, you know, show love to Sprite. I ain't gonna front. They make this possible. They make this free. So yeah, thank you guys.